All right, you guys, so as we're nearing the end of the year, I think it's time to do a top 22 sales of 2022. Hey guys, it's me, Kay, and you've arrived in my weird little corner of the internet. Welcome. If you're new here, I'm a part-time reseller, mostly on eBay and Poshmark. I do also have accounts on Mercari and Depop, and I sell locally at an antique booth. And I do all of this so that I can travel the world. I just got back, as most of you probably already know, from Europe. I was there for about 4.5 days. I went to Germany and Austria, and I had a great time. Krampuslauf was amazing. If you haven't seen that vlog, please go check it out. I will link it up above for you. Yeah, it was an incredible experience. But anyway, in this video, we are back to the reselling content, and we are talking about my top sales of this year. Yes, I know the year isn't over yet. We're still in mid-December. Christmas hasn't even happened, and there can still be some really great sales for me between now and the end of the year. But anyway, I still wanted to get this video out just because I think it's helpful to see, you know, what things are selling for what prices. So we're gonna go over my 22 best sales of this year so far. This year I did not include anything that I sold that was from like my personal closet or from Liv's personal closet. I only stuck to things that I actually bought with the intention of reselling them. So if you watched last year's video, it's pretty much the same thing. I did top 21 in 2021 last year, and this is top 22 of 2022. So I have a spreadsheet over here to my right, so if you see me looking at it from time to time during this video, that's what I'm looking at. I am sorry that I'm not, you know, always addressing you front and center, but I do have to look at my notes. So again, top 22 sales. They're mostly eBay and Poshmark, and one sale on the RealReal. But yeah, those are my main platforms anyway, Posh and eBay. And I'm gonna go in order from the least profit to the most profitable item that I've sold this year. Okay, so I moved over to this side of the screen so that over here in this area I can add photos of the items like I do for all of my what sold videos. Disclaimer, for any of these sales on eBay that I had from more than 90 days ago, they're gonna be a very small photo because I had to go into Terapeak and search my actual listing title to find my listing. So I do apologize for that, but that's just, it's a struggle with eBay if it's older than 90 days. But again, we're going lowest profit to highest profit. I'm gonna talk about what platform it sold on, what the item was, if I can remember where I got it from, the cost of the item, what it sold for. I'm not talking about any shipping costs the buyers paid on eBay, just the straight sale price, and then my total profit. So the first item was sold on Poshmark. If I haven't already mentioned, all of these items with the exception of one were on Posh or eBay, and the one exception is from the RealReal. But this first item is a pair of sneakers from New Balance. They are the 993. These are the sought after ones, the 900 series from New Balance. I think they're hideous dad sneakers, to be honest with you, but people want them. They like them. Ugly sells. I mean, to each their own. Anyway, the New Balance 993, these were a men's size 10. So some months ago, I ordered 2 thredup men's boxes. They're supposed to be clothing, I think, essentially, and I accidentally ordered the second one. I intended to just buy one and ended up with 2 when they were on sale on the thredup website. Anyway, it's fine. It all worked out. I made profit on both boxes, and I got 1 pair of shoes in each box. This was the only pair that was really worth it. I think they sold the other pair for like $20, but these sold for $90 on Posh. I paid $3.91 per item for all of the items that came in that box. They both had a different number of items, so it was kind of dependent on how much I could actually pull out of that box to resell. And my total profit was $68.09. So in this video, the lowest profit is $68. The highest profit is over $300. So we're getting a little bit of a better range than I had last year in 2021 when I did this same video. Next is an eBay sale. So this was a Coogi women's retro hooded sleeveless like sweater tunic. I wasn't sure if this was supposed to be a dress. It was very long, but sleeveless in like the Coogi sweater material that most of us know well. This sold for $80. Somehow my thrift store mispriced this, I think, and I only paid $4.54. I'm assuming that was probably with a 20% off coupon at Savers, because I hardly ever pay the actual, you know, tag price at Savers. I always use a 20% off. But anyway, my total profit for that sale was $68.33. Next, we have another Poshmark sale, and I actually talked a little bit about this brand in a previous video during Vlogmas of this year. That was the brands I'd like to manifest in 2023. This is a brand that I'd only found one other time and I would like to find again. It's a pair of jeans from Freddie. Freddie is the brand. They were new with tags. They're called the WR Up Shaping Effect jeans. They're like a 7/8 ankle length, size small. They sold for $98 really quickly. I paid $8.21, leaving me with a profit of $70.11 on a pair of jeans. This doesn't often happen for me with jeans. It doesn't often happen for me, period. But especially so with jeans. I don't usually sell jeans, you know, more than $50. So to have a $98 sale on a pair of jeans was almost unheard of for me. And yeah, that's one of the reasons why I would love to find this brand again in 2023. Okay, next we have an eBay sale, and this was a piece from Johnny Was. There is at least one other Johnny Was piece on this list, but this is the first one. This is a pair of joggers. They're called the Sana Denim Pull-On Embroidered Jogger. I paid $1.95 for these guys. I remember where I sourced them from. They came from my Honey Hole Savers location, and I don't know why they priced them so low, but their loss is my gain. I sold them for $85, and after the eBay fees and shipping, I took a profit of $71.51. So I turned roughly $2 into $85, and that's really exciting for me. Okay, so the next two items, both sold on Poshmark, both were the same brand, and they're actually not even the only two times that this brand appears on this top list. So without further ado, the brand is Aviator Nation, and they both sold on Poshmark. The first item is a 5-stripe hoodie in vintage white. It was a size extra small. It sold for $100. I paid $8 for this item, and I got a profit of $73.19. These I sourced at the very tail end of 2021 and didn't list them until I think January of this year. So they sold pretty quickly, and all of the pieces that I picked up 4 within the span of a week or two. It's to date the only time I've ever come across this brand, so I was really excited to find all of these pieces. I found 3 in one store and a pair of pants in a different store. But anyway, $100 sale on that one, and the next one also sold for $100. This was a 4-stripe jogger sweatpant. These were a size large. I paid $2.79 for these. They had a little bit of pilling like in the crotch area, easily taken care of with my sweater shaver. Again, their loss is my gain, like with the Johnny Was joggers. These sold for $100, like I said, and my profit was $77.21. Next, we have an eBay sale. So this was a pair of Rothys. I sold a couple pairs of Rothys in 2022. This is the only one that makes it on this list. These were a black Chelsea pull-on boot in a size 8. I also got these from my Honey Hole store, same as I got the Johnny Was pants. These sold for $100 on eBay, and my profit after the fees and shipping was $79.33. So we're coming up on that $80 profit mark. The next few are gonna be eBay sales. This first one I'm gonna talk about is a Burberry Brit plaid flannel button down. It was a men's piece. It came from a thredup men's designer box. That box was fairly new, and I happened to snag one when they were first released. The cost of goods for the items in those boxes is $35. There's only 4 pieces. in those boxes, and they cost $140. So it was a little bit of a risk for me. I don't sell designer too well, but this item actually sold fairly quickly for $129.99. I believe that was a full price sale because I always put the 99 cents in my listings, and the profit after the $35 cost of goods, fees, shipping, all that good stuff was $79.34. Next, we have another item that came from a thredup box. This box was the fun box. I don't often find things that are super valuable in the fun boxes. It's usually the shoes or, you know, the designer boxes, things like that. Yeah, not so much the fun box, but this one was a gem. So my average cost of goods for the fun boxes, 10 items, shipped to my door at the time because I didn't have VIT status, very important thrifter or thredupper. I honestly forget what it is. So I did have to pay shipping on those. So shipped to my door, it's about $4 an item. This sold full price, $99.99. So my total profit was $80.40. And I am super happy with that. I love thredup boxes. I actually ordered one at the end of November, and it supposedly shipped on the 2nd, and I was hoping that it was gonna be like my last thredup unboxing of the year. But you know, it's like the 15th and tracking hasn't updated. So I have no idea where it is. I have an email into thredup to see if they can do something, maybe send me another box. It is another fun box. But yeah, so I don't know if I'm even gonna get a last thredup unboxing before the end of the year. I'm crossing my fingers that I do, but I don't know. Okay, next is a sale I talked about recently in my November sales recap video where I talk about my sales that were $40 or more. So if you watched that, you've already heard about this, but I'm gonna mention it again. So this is a new old stock vintage Epilady coil hair removal epilator tool. I found one regular size one and one mini one. The regular size one is the only one that made it onto this list, unfortunately, but I'm still happy with both of those sales because they sold lightning fast. This one sold for $87.50. This is again the regular size one. I paid $4.79 and my total profit was $82.37. Again, it was a super fast flip. So to get $82.37 really quickly within a couple days, I'm all for it. Okay, the next item is another Aviator Nation piece, and it's still not the last one on this list. So this one was a gray Daydream classic crewneck. This sold on eBay as well. I paid $8.41. And I got an offer on this one from a buyer of $111.11. I'm thinking she either liked the, you know, symmetry with the numbers, or she was trying to come with the whole dollar amount, including the shipping. Whatever the case may be, I made a total profit of $89.10 off of that Aviator Nation piece. The next sale we're going to talk about is a Poshmark sale, and this one is pretty surprising for me because it was the first time I had ever sold this brand, and I honestly didn't think too much of this brand because it's part of the H&M family. It's And Other Stories. So there's H&M, And Other Stories, COS, and LOGG. COS is the higher end line, but anyway, this was a pair of boots. They were black leather and shearling lined, a little bit of a platform. I paid $9.99 for these. They sold for $125 on Poshmark, and my profit was $90.01. The next sale on my list is another item that came from that same men's designer box from thredup. So again, my cost of goods is $35, and it's another Burberry Brit piece. So out of the 4 items in that box, I got 2 Burberry Brit, 1 Prada, and 1 jacket from another brand, which you guys will see both of the other 2 items also on this list. So this was Burberry Brit gray striped merino wool pullover, men's size extra large. It sold for $162 on Poshmark, and my total profit was $92.88. So we're closing in on the $100 mark now. Next is an eBay sale, and this is a plush. So this is the only plush that happens to be on this list. Last year, I also had a plush sale. My best sale of 2021 was a plush. It was a Build-A-Bear plush. This one was a vintage 2001 Pokémon plush. It was Celebi. I'm not sure if I'm saying that Pokémon wrong or right. Livy will probably correct me if she ever watches this video, and she might be disappointed if I said it wrong. But anyway, from 2001, I couldn't find any comps on this at all whatsoever. I even tried to look at Terapeak, so I did list it fairly high. I think I listed it around $125, got an offer of $115. I paid $479. So $479 into $115 for a plushie. Yes, all day. So my total profit was $95.71, and this is the last sale that the profit is under $100. So let's move on into the triple digit profits. Next is the Real sale from this list, and again, it's another $35 item from that thredup men's designer box. If I ever come across one of those again, I will probably consider picking them up because I sold all 4 of them, and all 4 of them made my top sales of the year. So again, it was a little bit risky for me because I don't do well with designer, and that's a high cost of goods per item, but it worked out for me. So this one is a little tricky to explain, and I will go into more detail when I finally get the Real video up for you. It originally only sold for $40 on the Real. For a Prada V-neck long sleeve wool pullover sweater. $40. They listed it at $50, and someone used a 20% off coupon, which means that $40 sale would have been $8 in commission to me. I paid $35 for this item, and I would have got $8. I don't know why they listed it at only $50, because when I looked up comps at the time on the Real's website for Prada wool sweaters that were similar, and the condition was also listed as pristine on mine, so I looked for similar in the same condition as well. They were all priced $175 to $225. So I don't know if it was an error on whoever processed my items, but I definitely squawked about it quite a bit, and so they ended up crediting me, and my total sales price for this item ended up being $225. So minus their commission, minus my cost of goods of $35, my total profit on this item was an even $100. But it did take quite a bit of my time as well to kind of fight with them over this sale that they totally dropped the ball on. So I don't know if it was really worth it. I mean, I guess so. It ended up being one of my top sales for the year, but still, it was just a waste of time. Okay, so this next sale I'm going to talk about happened on eBay, but it kind of ties into my issues with the Real, and again, I will go into more detail about this. So basically, I had a bunch of issues with them, and so in communication with them, I was talking to my rep, who is like my 9th rep at the time, because apparently I've gone through a whole bunch of them for no apparent reason. And I was also talking to like some upper management people at the Real because the issues, there were just so many of them. So they ended up giving me a credit. It was a sizable credit, and I used it to buy a couple items to resell. I have sold a couple of them. I still have, I think, 2 pieces. And I think I got 4 or 5 altogether. Can't honestly remember. Anyway, I paid $4.19 for this pair of Louis Vuitton men's black leather lace-up Oxfords, using that credit from the Real, and then I spent a little bit extra of my own money. So the cost that I spent out of pocket divided by the amount of items I purchased, it worked out to $4.19. They sold on eBay for $125, and my total profit was $101.09. Okay, next we have a Poshmark sale. This is the other Johnny Was piece. I also talked about this recently as well in I think my November sales recap video. This was a black silk floral print blouse. It was a size 2X, fabulous size. It did have a couple small flaws. It had a couple little holes like on the sides by the seam. And I only paid $4.40 for it. I don't know if the thrift store didn't know what it was. I have found a couple pieces lately in like the same general area in my thrifts, and they've all been priced under $5. So maybe they just don't know what it is. High clove. Anyway, it sold on an offer from a buyer on Posh for $140. I had it listed at $150, so it was a pretty reasonable offer. Doesn't often happen for me. Bye, clove. And my total profit was $107.60, and it sold in just a couple days as well. Okay, so now we're into the top of 5 sales, and 3 of them are hard goods, leaving only 2 clothing. So if you've been around my channel for a while or haven't figured out by now from this video, I am primarily a clothing and shoe seller, but I do occasionally like to go into the other sections, like those epilators that I found, plushies, things like that. So number 5 on this list is a 2014 Starbucks tumbler. It said Boston on it and it had like a big B. That was a deciding factor in the value. I don't know why, but when I looked it up, people wanted the big B. It didn't have a straw. So let's throw that out there. It was missing a straw. I had actually found this same tumbler before. Someone had left it at a local park that me and my daughter had gone to, and I took it home because nobody claimed it. It was like the end of the day. It clearly had been sitting there for a while, and I took it home. Didn't know that it was valuable at the time because I was not really into reselling at that point. I had been reselling off and on, like my personal items, since 2004, which is when I created my eBay account that I still have today and use. So after I was done using that tumbler, I think I just donated it. But anyway, I found another one, no straw. I paid $2.41 and flipped it into $140. My total profit, $117.48 on a Starbucks tumbler. And it's not even a recent one, it's from 2014. So yeah, keep your eyes peeled for them. Your mileage may vary. I have tons of Starbucks cups that aren't selling. I have Starbucks tumblers that aren't selling. So there's definitely ones that you want to look for, and you definitely shouldn't pick up all of them. But if you see this one out there, I would definitely recommend picking it up. Okay, number 4 is the last Poshmark sale that we're gonna talk about in this video, and it's also the last Aviator Nation piece. So this was a rare one apparently from my research. It was the Bulk Classic cropped sweatshirt in a size extra small. I paid $8.41 for this piece. It sold for $160, and my total profit was $119.59. So I made a couple $100 off of those 4 Aviator Nation pieces that I sold in 2022, and I couldn't be more excited about that. And I really hope that I can find more pieces from that in the next, next few years. I would love to just keep finding them. Those and Johnny Was, my life would be made. Okay, and now we're into the top 3, and all of these I've actually talked about before in, my monthly sales recap videos where I talk about sales $40 and up. So the first one is one of the My Little Ponies. So if you've been watching my channel for the last couple months or so, you'd know that my daughter found, I think, 17 ponies in like the little toy bags on the toy wall in my savers, and she decided to, take them home. She wanted me to look at them first in the store just to make sure maybe they would be valuable. They were all from the 80s with the exception of one that was from like 1990 something. I think 1990 exactly. So that was a really good investment. I made $400+ in sales altogether. We just sold like in the last week or so. While I was on vacation in Europe, actually. We just sold the last 5 that we had from that batch of 17. This one was the first one to sell, and is the reason why I ended up picking these up in the first place, because I looked up that one and was surprised by the comps, and so we took all of them home. But this one I paid $1.23 for, and it sold for $145 within 1 day. It's a vintage 1984 My Little Pony Sea Pony. Its name is Wave Jumper. I said this before when I talked about that buy, and also when I talked about when it sold. But if you find the little seashells, it's like a clamshell seashell that they originally came in, you can sell just the seashell for over $200. So if you can find that and the pony, you're in the profit for a lot of money. But anyway, $145 from $1.23 investment, and my total profit was $122.63. Since Liv found these for resale, I did end up splitting this profit with her, but the total profit from that sale was $122.63. Okay, in the number 2 spot, we have another vintage item. This was a vintage 1985 The Goonies movie board game. It was almost complete. It was just missing the instructions. So I let the buyer know where he could go to download the instructions and be able to play the game. I paid $4.01 for it. I think it was $4.99, and I used a coupon. It sold for $200. I listed it pretty high and got that $200 offer, and because it had been sitting for so long and I only had less than $5 into it, I decided to just run with it, and the total profit was $158.23. I got really great feedback from the buyer. He was so excited, and he immediately went online to download the instructions so that he could play the game, and that just makes me so happy. And in the very top spot, my number 1 sale for 2022, as of today, December 15th, was the 4th item from that thredup designer men's box. It was actually the first item that I pulled out of the box. It was a Canada Goose men's black label Langford parka. It was a size extra small, which is not the best size when selling men's. It's really not the best size when selling women's, but you know, extra small people need clothing too, so I knew it eventually would sell. I did, disclaimer, undercut myself quite a bit on this sale. I had it listed around $750, $800, and sent out really aggressive offers because it was so bulky, and if you've been around for a while, I have very limited space, both in my home where I store most of my hard goods and in my shed where I store my clothing and shoes. This happened to not fit anywhere, so I was hanging it in my laundry room and sick of looking at it every day. So I sent out the aggressive offers. It sold for $400. It went to someone within New England, so it was fairly inexpensive to ship, even, you know, considering how big and bulky it was. Again, my cost of goods for those 4 items was $35 a piece, and so my total profit was $303.72. So from the number 2 spot to the number 1 spot, we went from $158.23 to $303.72. So nothing in the $200 profit range for 2022. I would love to see that in 2023. I would love to obviously have a higher than $400 sale. To date, that is my best sale and my highest sale, in both in profit and just the sale price alone. So yeah, I could always do with having more sales like that. I could do with having some more vintage My Little Ponies sell. I have seen quite a few. After buying those, I went and, you know, went down the rabbit hole and did some research, and there are quite a few that sell for, you know, $200, $300, $400 consistently that are vintage MLPs. So I would love to find some more of those, and every time I go into the thrift store now, I look at those toy bags on the wall, hoping to spot some more. Maybe I need to keep, you know, bringing Liv with me in the store more often so that she can, you know, use her magic touch to find them. But yeah, those are my top 22 sales for 2022. Let me know in the comments down below what some of your top sales were for this year. I would love to see that. I also think it would be helpful for other people coming to this video to see those comments and see more items that they could reasonably get a good profit for. So please feel free to share those in the comments down below. My stomach is growling, so I need to go eat something and get this video edited and up today because I am filming it the same day that it's being uploaded. But anyway, that's all for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed it at any point, please give it a big thumbs up. It really helps me out here on YouTube to know what type of content you enjoy seeing from me. And if you're not already subscribed, please consider subscribing. I would love to have you here in my weird little family on the internet, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.